Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, and we are back with Takara Tomi's MP-10 Convoy. Now it's time to take a look at the edition that smacks its price up over the $200 mark. Freshly dropped off the HLJ cargo freighter, let's dig into Prime's iconic trailer piece. Convoy's container is as sculpted as it can be, with nearly every single memorable detail being carved into the plastic. Even the often stickered side stripes are etched into the sides of the trailer, as are all of the lines of the Autobot symbol. Beneath the trailer, I am similarly impressed to see stuff like the underworkings and a spare tire. Paint is pretty non-existent down there, but the upper and far more visible parts are nicely done. I'm pretty sure all that silver is actually paint, though if I'm mistaken, then it's damn cool that such a pleasant sheen could be poured into the molds. A pair of flip-out standee legs allow the trailer to chill out by itself. They're a bit hard to pull out from under their mounting points, but otherwise work pretty well. The hitch is a rotating piece with a pair of tabs that slot into Prime's compressed legs. It holds tight and helps hold the truck mode together, but also is finicky to get in place. Reminiscent of the G3 trailer, the rear compartment opens up before a ramp extends forward. One cool thing about the ramp is the small staircase sculpted on for a little rubber spike to traverse it safely. You can store most deluxe or alternity-sized vehicles inside, as well as the ever-present roller. Silver and rollery, this iteration of Convoy's cromulent pal is just as gorgeously silver as most of the trailer. Sadly, his wheel axles are all locked in place and cannot turn, but he does have some moving parts in his trunk. You can reveal a port for Prime's rifle to slot in place. I also like how the folded panel kinda looks like a gas can. Fully transforming the rear allows Roller to pull the trailer like a champion, and also shows just how much crawl space there is in his chassis. Climb on inside, little Spike. That's some decent functionality for an accessory like this, even without turning axles. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does one man become so pretty? Oh, I know what else you're thinking. Why is he letting the trailer just sag and drag the front part of its silver corners around on the ground like that? Well, I can do this. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you that you can take these funny looking things and rotate them outwards, and there's a really neat geared automorph that makes a foot kind of lower down while you're doing that. Next, I'm going to open up the back of this trailer, and then comment briefly on the kind of neat optical illusion there is inside that makes it look like all that's in there is a silver box, a silver wall in the end, and nothing else. And finally, I'm going to answer the question of how does this trailer do something more exciting than the boring old G1 box opens up transformation to a base mode? Well, Alright. I don't have anything to be clever about with that one, but I can show you that the way that aforementioned optical illusion is done is with the help of these things, and I think it's kind of a cool idea. It's a neat way to add a sense of disguise to the inside of this box. On the downside, it means there's no spring-loaded anything for poor Roller here. He seems like he's kind of forgotten. I'll get to that later, I think. Actually, looking into the future, I don't get to that later. So yeah, there is nothing for Roller to do in here. It's got no spring-loaded mechanism, no locking mechanism, nothing. It's kind of a bummer. What's not a bummer is the command section. You got ratchet joints, you got double joints, which is better than poor Convoy's elbows. And you got these little foldy-out bits that you can't see right now, but now you can. Let's get my Ace lighting rig in place to better illuminate the issue. This thing is more or less just the G1 command base deal. It's got the opening claw and whatnot. It's doing everything you need it to do. So the transformation to base mode is not tremendously inspiring, I'm sad to say. But how is the base mode as a base mode? That's the question. Now suffering slightly for all its lovely sheen, the base mode is loaded with sculpted detail that is then drowned in a sea of silver. There are some great bits picked out in a very accurate dark blue, but I have to agree with those who wish there was a little bit more life to the look of this mode. Though I'm sure a company like Repro Labels will be able to offer a solution at some point. So let's have a brief conversation about this command section. As I showed before, it can move around and ambulate and emote and nod and say, "Oh, I don't understand." Whoa. Hey there. And you can also open it up, and there's a seat inside that quite happily fits young Spike Witwicky, so that now you can have him chill out in this 80s space pod, or just make him nauseous and get all centrifuge style and then splat, there's vomit all over the inside of the window. It's kind of a beautiful thing. There's also a cool bit of engineering to accommodate one of the pseudo modes from back in the 80s. Basically, there are these little doors that can fold down on either end of this trailer, and then if you fold them both down and orient things properly, you can have the command center peeking out the top of the trailer while Convoy is driving around with it. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it's a very strange and silly thing to do, because I don't honestly see what this would accomplish other than, yo, satellites, hey, passing by cars, I'm just gonna grab motorists and hurl them around. Actually, that is kind of cool. I take that back. This is awesome. But this is just one of the other little bits of fun fan-wankery thrown in on an engineering level, which unfortunately might not really excite all that much, and adds to the part count, but I kind of appreciate it myself. But speaking of crazy doofy modes from way back in the yesteryear that the original Optimus Prime or Convoy Diaclone toy was designed, I mean, that was already kind of silly. What if I told you I was just going to stand this thing upright and call it a mode? Well, I am! Standing the base mode upright and adjusting things to taste yields the mighty Repair Bay mode. It makes about as much sense as you want it to. This does nothing new, which means it will either tweak your nostalgia bone just right, or leave you wondering what it's supposed to be. It does stand rather impressively, though. With its trailer, the MP-10 does end up filling out its price point just, and with a lot of objectivity. If this trailer was a box with 1 or 2 hinges, I would be crying foul. It is thanks to its surprising number of moving parts, as well as its copious silver paint, that it manages to justify the full package's price point. However, as far as a bang for your buck, that does very much come down to personal taste. If you're going to go for MP-10, you need to buy it for everything in the box. It is very much a luxury item among luxury items. If you do have the spare money and the desire, it's a really nice combination of parts. But if you're wary of the cost and hoping that it will surprise you, there may be some disappointment. Either way, MP-10 is a well-done toy with a very premium price tag. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus. I hope this video has helped you come to a decision on the new Masterpiece Prime. Whichever Convoy you choose to side with, that freedom is your right as a sentient being. Oh, so clever. Oh, the Transformers ones will love that. They're going to say, he quoted the tech spec. They're going to say, what a true fan. They're going to say, I love him. They're going to let me into their house. It will be beautiful.